All right, let's jump right into something a little different today. We're looking at a piece of source material that isn't some academic paper or a dense historical text. Nope. It's actually a direct, really personal invitation to what it calls a divine dream. So let's unpack what this invitation is really all about. And it just kicks right off with this. No warm-up, no introduction, just boom. Want to see Hanuman and get blessings from him? You can almost feel the excitement in those 3 exclamation points, right? It's so informal and immediate. It's really designed to grab you from the get-go. And for anyone who might not be familiar, Hanuman is a very powerful and beloved deity in Hinduism, a symbol of incredible strength and devotion. And then, right after that hook, it hits you with this question. So what are you waiting for? This isn't just presenting information, you know? It's a call to action. It's basically saying, okay, if you're interested, the path starts now. And the rest of the text is the answer to that very question. So first up, a divine invitation. Let's really break down this opening. What's so unique here is that the source doesn't start with a theory or a philosophy. It starts with a direct, personal call to experience something pretty profound for yourself. Okay, so if you're hooked, how do you actually accept this invitation? Well, that brings us to our next section, the inward journey. The source makes it clear this isn't about a physical pilgrimage somewhere. No, this is a journey you take inside your own consciousness.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This inward journey, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The source actually lays out 2 totally different paths, and what separates them is something very specific about your life's circumstances. In this case, your marital status.
And you can see that split right here. For a married person, the promise is described as blessings for your family. It's a very tangible, almost external kind of outcome. But for an unmarried girl, wow, it's described as something else entirely. It's an initiation, an inward journey to awaken the Sahasrar, which, in this context, is all about reaching the absolute highest state of spiritual consciousness. So yeah, 2 very, very different promises for 2 different paths.
All right, this is where we get to the real heart of it all. Section 3, the secret and the promise. Now we're going to look at the ultimate goal of this invitation and, the key that supposedly makes it all happen. And there's the promise, stated just as plainly as can be. The author claims, I can show Hanuman in dream, or Hanuman comes to serve you. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's not a subtle hint or a metaphor. It is an incredibly bold, direct claim of being able to facilitate a divine encounter. Now, a promise that big, you'd think there'd be a catch, right? Well, the source deliberately frames the key to this whole thing as a secret. It builds this sense of mystique, like you're about to be let in on something special. So what is this big secret? The text says it's not some complicated ritual or years of study. Nope, it's actually much simpler, something almost elemental. It's all held within just a few specific letters. And there it is, S-R-A-M-A. According to this text, that's it. That's the whole secret. These 3 syllables aren't just a name to chant, they are presented as the literal key that unlocks this entire divine dream.
So, we have this very personal, secret key, but how does it connect to the bigger picture? Well, that's our final section. Dharma starts with you. The source takes this very internal practice and connects it to a much broader universal principle. The text brings up this big concept, Sanatana Dharma, but, and this is so important, it defines it in its own very specific way. It's not presented as some ancient, abstract philosophy you'd read in a book. Instead, it's a living principle that begins right in your own immediate personal life.
And it makes this point with incredible simplicity. First, it states that this universal duty, this Sanatana Dharma, it begins in your most intimate circle. It says it starts with your family. But then, look at this, it pulls the focus in even closer. After saying it starts with family, the source repeats the phrase with one tiny but absolutely crucial change. Sanatana Dharma starts with you. The message is clear. This huge cosmic principle is ultimately rooted right inside the individual. And really, that's what this whole thing has been building to. It's offering a path to a divine dream, unlocked by a simple mantra, all grounded in a philosophy that says the grandest spiritual journey doesn't start in some faraway temple or ancient text, but in the most intimate place of all, yourself. So the question the source leaves us with is this: for a personal journey to a divine dream, where else could it possibly begin?